Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael and this is Happy Ghost Reacts. Today I'll be reacting to Season 4, Episode 10 of Attack on Titan. This episode being called A Sound Argument. Last episode was Brave Volunteers, which was a flashback episode, which in Attack on Titan, I really like their storytelling means, which by that I mean they let a story play out to a specific point, a specific climax in the story, where then it's justified to give backstory of stuff that we weren't given as an audience, to kind of explain the behind the scenes or certain things that we didn't get to see unfold while we watched what we watched unfold if that makes sense. I might not have explained it to the best of my ability, but that's the only way I can think to explain it in this moment. Yeah, we saw that that first scout ship showed up and Eren carried it ashore, super sick, kind of like, I don't know if it was just me over analyzing it, but kind of felt like a symbolism to when we saw the first time we saw Eren Kruger as the owl, or Eren Kruger the owl as the Attack Titan. In season 3 he was picking up a ship, and though he was breaking that one in half, this one was getting carried ashore. Then on that ship happened to be, I believe, is Yelena and Onknapone. His name is so funky to me, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, the two people who in Peak's flashback, when she was telling Magath, like, I recognized the soldier with the beard. So we kind of saw how that came to fruition. They were the ones who gave Paradise, the scouts, all of them, the information they needed to kind of be prepared for what would or could happen when they do anything against Marley. All of anything and everything that they had, they seem to have given them up front, which is very interesting, and I'm surprised that was a part of Zeke's plan. But I suppose how else can you cause the enemy to become your friend to some extent, without kind of just like showing all your cards, at least showing all your cards to the point maybe you still have a hidden one. I don't know Zeke's full motives here. Obviously he's changed sides for a reason. The rumbling is going to happen at some point, and I honestly am so excited to see that. I cannot wait to watch thousands of, I mean, maybe not thousands, I don't know if they're going to have the time to draw thousands, but dozens of colossal titans just coming out of those walls. And I hope that we do get to see that, because that's been foreshadowed since season 2 episode 1. Well, actually the finale of season 1, when we saw the titan in the wall. Like, they're probably going to come out at some point. There's no reason for them to just explain all of this and then that not happen, as well as that be what the original king's threat was. Like, if you come here, I will unleash this on you. I hope we can see that through the means of Zeke and Eren working together. Excuse me, Eren and Zeke working together. All they got to do is, I mean, Zeke only has to turn into a titan as far as I'm aware, and Eren just like touches him, and then he can tap into more of the potential of the founding titan. So I'm curious how that's going to play out. I'm very curious how Eren is going to act now. There was this line at the end of season 1, kind of towards the middle to end portion of the female titan arc, that Levi said about Eren, that kind of like rings into my head now as of the way that they're treating him, which is like he's gonna do whatever he wants. Like, you can put a monster in a cage and he's still gonna do whatever he wants to. And this was like that scene where he was gonna turn while Levi and Levi's squad were all running down, and it was that intense scene like, Levi, what do we do? And then he shoots off that I think it was the black smoke, and it like kind of like a sound shot. I don't know what the correct term was, but it made everybody's ears ring, which I think was the signal for Erwin in that point. But yeah, it's just one of those things that ring in my head, like this kind of coming full circle. Eren's being treated like a monster again, and rightfully so. I mean, as much as it was like a victory, is kind of bittersweet. He murdered a lot of people and forced Armin to murder 300,000 plus people by just turning into a Titan, which is absolutely insane to think about. And Armin, I believe, now has probably the highest kill count in the show as of this point. I think. Could be wrong. I don't think there's any way that, I mean, unless Berthold did other things that we are unaware of. But I doubt it. I mean, we kind of saw him and how he led up to where he was at, and there was really no other point. But or whoever in the manga, I don't read the manga, never read the manga. But anyways, yeah, there was that. Zeke has been brought to his hotel, aka those tall trees. You know, like Levi even joked, you should feel comfortable here because his Beast Titan kind of resembles a monkey. Then Gabby and Falco are in prison right now, rightfully so. I mean, they murdered Sasha. Well, Falco was an accomplice to, and obviously an enemy. So, but Gabby was the one who murdered Sasha, unfortunately. But then the whole narrative of the episode took place between Armin telling a story to Annie. And I'm very curious to see if Annie is finally going to come out of that cocoon crystallization thing that she turned into, similar to the Warhammer Titan. So I also wonder if now that Eren has the capabilities of, the abilities and the capability of using the Warhammer Titan's abilities, if that Titan hardened ability skin thing that she can turn stuff into weapons, or now he can, is strong enough to break it open if she doesn't. And yeah, I don't really know where it's gonna go with Annie. I don't know if Annie's gonna switch sides because Zeke's there. I'm curious what Annie's gonna do now that all of this has happened. I think she's been in that cocoon thing for, I think, half a decade now, which is crazy to think about. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with a meeting between Zeke and everybody. I think Eren's kind of going on his own path. I feel like he's not going to be sticking around much longer. The way his goals do not align with the Scouts anymore, and now that he does not necessarily have the Scouts backing. I'm very curious to see how their relationship's going to play out, given especially between Mikasa, Armin, and him. Like they were like the original trio, and now it seems kind of broken and awkward whenever they're all in a room together. But yeah. The other thing I want to bring up, I hate that I talk so much before an episode of Attack on Titan, but there's just always so much information in every episode now. But now, the Scouts Paradise, they have syringes. Yelena brought them Titan spinal fluid in like the same thing that the Rice family had, which is crazy. Because now, as long as, if for however long this war goes on or through the future, the Paradise Island people have the ability to pass on Titan forms for however long they need to, at least for quite a long time, because they had quite a few vials in that box that Yelena gave them. I'm wondering how that's going to be presented to people. I wonder if this is what they're going to do, is if Marleyans or any other countries come and attack them and they take them as prisoners of war, they might turn them into Titans. I forget, what are they called? Pure Titans. It's kind of like something to make the war or the battlefield or getting to the walls more difficult for all of the warring countries that are going to come, as well as when they release the Colossal Titans, assuming that they do, which, I mean, at this point, if that's the plan, I'm really excited to see it play out. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. I mean, I don't mean to graze over Sasha's whole thing. She was in the story. That cook, they kind of had from my understanding, at least he really liked her. She really liked his food. I don't really know if they had anything more than just a food relationship. But it was really nice to see that at her tombstone. Him meeting Sasha's dad, and Sasha's dad like kind of welcoming him, even though he admits up front that he is not a Paradiser. He is a Marleyan, so technically the enemy. And that was just a very nice moment amongst all of the other stuff going on. So without further ado, now that I've talked for 10 minutes, let's jump into this episode of Attack on Titan. So let's go. This is exactly how the last episode ended.
鏡に向かって話しかけてたの？ねえ、戦え、戦えって。ねえ、戦え、戦えって言ってたんだよね。戦え、戦えって。何と戦うの？戦え、戦えって。
Oh my gosh, she just keeps saying it.
があるのかな?
Yeah, 2 fights. One with the scouts, one with the Marleyans.
その髪型、かっこいいと思うよ、私は。
Wow, even girls inside the show think his hair is cool.
初めて会った時なんて一晩中巨人について語り明かしたじゃないか。私の一方的な話を君は聞いてくれた。私は確信してた。君がヒストリアを犠牲にすることはないって。
Wait. I honestly never believed you'd sacrifice Historia? What? Is this another time jump?
エレン、1年前君に船ごと担ぎ上げられて以来ですね。これからよろしくお願いします。いいえ。
This is when the scouts arrived there.
完成して初めて外国の要人を迎えるのだから。パラディ島唯一の友好国。
Oh, this was okay.
その特使、清。
This was the girl. This was that old lady, I think, that saved Udo, I believe. Not saved him, but didn't tell on him for spilling.
この印は死んだ母の一族から受け継いできたものです。私も自分の子に託すように言われました。
なんとけなげなことでしょう。およそ100年以上前、アズマビト家の御親にあたる我が将軍家。
So Mikasa backstory.
あなたは我々が失った一国の主の末裔、ヒーズル国の希望です。
Whoa! That's a lot to take in. Also, I was wrong. They didn't arrive at Marley. They finished the port, and people are coming to Paradise now. So you don't correct me in the comments. I caught that now.
だから世界においてよちよち歩きを始めた赤ん坊に過ぎん。今は黙って耳を貸すのみ。
Very true. They're all learning about the world now. They've all been closed off to this island.
変えられたのは私たちを引き合わせてくれたジーク・イエーガーの存在が不可欠でした。私どもは彼と密会し、ミカサ様への取り次ぎを条件にある取り計らいに賛同しましたことを報告させていただきます。
Interesting.
まずはこちらをご覧ください。
これは
Oh, the ODM gear he took from Mike? I don't know how to pronounce it.
この立体起動装置
Yeah, this is all the way back from season 2, episode 1. Holy crap.
仕上げます。しかしこの兵器を動かすにはある特殊な燃料が必要です。それを彼らは氷爆石と呼んでいます。
Ice burst stone?
未だパラディ島以外では採掘されたことがない未知の地下資源です。その兵器の中にも痕跡が残っているでしょう。
So that's what all... Is that fossil fuel they were talking about?
これが事実なら、この近代化の時代において金銀財宝に等しい資源が眠っておられるのです。
He's just there for the money.
に使われただけでは。
アズマビトは金の匂いに鋭いから交渉はうまくいくってイエレナが言って。
Okay, so they prefaced it by warning them that they're just here for the money.
ジーク・エーガーとの取り計らいとは一体何でしょうか。
ご存知の通り、ジーク・イエーガーは秘策
This is a lot of backstory right now.
を守るために必要な3つの過程です。まず1つ目は地ならしの実
A
験
test run of releasing Colossal Titans?
してその期間における始祖および王家の血を引く巨人両者の継続的な維持、これが3つ目の過程。
That third point's pretty crazy.
そのものは13年の任期を終えるまで可能な限り子を増やすこと。
Being Historia. That's insane.
私は獣の巨人の継承を受け入れます。
Whoa. Oh man.
やっと生きることが許されるっていうのなら、俺はジーク・イエーガーの計画は到底受け入れられません。
God damn.
君と焦燥感を共にしたつもりだった。でも君がなぜ単独行動に出てこの島を危機に追い込んだのかがわかる。
Man, Aaron's been doing his own thing since a while ago.
潜水の巨人を食いました。この巨人の能力は地面から自在に硬質化を操り、武器でも何でも生み出せるわけです。つまりどれだけ深く硬い地下に俺を幽閉しても無駄だ
That's
って
very
こ
true
と
at
で
this
す。
point.
俺はいつでも好きな時にここを出られる。当然思想を持つ俺を殺すこともできない。いくら脅したところでジークを殺すわけにもいかない。
Aaron.
ハンジさん、
Aaron is
何ができるって言うんですか。
on nobody's side anymore. Oh shit.
くださいよ、ハンジさん。他のやり方があったら教えてくださいよ。
Oh. Whoa. Did he almost turn?
エルヴィン、あんたの唯一の失策だ。なんで私なんか団長にしたんだよ。
Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for Hanj.
中に入ろう、ヒストリア。もっと体をい
Whoa.
たわらないと。
What? What? His story is pregnant?
俺たちの定義通り、ジークは島に着くなり、巨人にしたヒストリア女王に食わせるべきだった。
Holy shit.
まさかガキを起こしらえ遊ばされるただ。
She played around and got pregnant?
の身に過ぎない名ばかりの女王様ってことだ。おい、やめろ。
What are the odds that she names the kid Ymir?
問題は女王がなぜ今身勝手な行為に及んだのかだ。
And why did there's got his story is smart.
妊娠しちまえば巨人にされずに済むと。
That could be very well.
ジークは命拾いしたんだぞ。おい、飲みすぎだ、ログ。今ならまだ間に合う。身をもだろうと巨人にしちまえば。
That's messed up.
ただでさえ出産は命の危険が伴うというのに。
That is also true. I doubt that they have the proper means. I'm sure that birth has a death rate for the mother, at least in these times. Oh, they're building a train track. That's pretty cool.
やらなくていいことだ。あのバカがあんなことを言い出さなければな。
Connie, Jean,
体も鍛えられるし、
Aaron.
やつも進むって。
They're all working on the train track.
確かに今はヒーズルからの回答を待つし
Oh,
かない
is
から
that
な。
Sasha again in the background?
ヒーズルを介して。
Mikasa just carrying a steel beam by herself, just casually like, yeah.
金であり続けることを望んでいる。それが国々の団結を促し、世界の安定を担保する。
It's a really crappy thing though. To be the enemy so that the rest of the world can be united.
こちらの意図も計らず勝手に悪魔だって決めつけて、どうしてみんなが平和になる道を考えられないんだ。
Because they're all brainwashed over there as of this point.
わからないからだと思う。
Yeah.
私たちが何者か。
They just think that they're bad people.
ハンジさん、そんなこと考えてたんだ。
This is probably where they came from at the end or at the start of episode 6. Probably where they came from. That is. I think that's what I said.
僕たちが
Man, Armin. Choo choo. Driving that train. Let's go.
少し時間があれば、俺の寿命は5年とあと少ししかね。
So this was a 2 year ago flashback. So current time he has 3 years left. I'm sure that they said that at this point, but I was just saying it out loud to remind myself.
私が引き継ぐ。
お前じゃダメだろ。アッカーマン家が何なのかまだ分かってない。
Ackermans are strong people.
他に誰が。
俺だ。まず俺は
Way smarter than Aaron.
気に入らねえな。実際俺以上の人材がいる
I suppose Gene inheriting his power would be interesting.
よくないですよ。あなたはバカなんですよ。じゃなくて、バカにそんな重要なこと。
Can't leave such an important role up to an idiot. Oh, that's so mean.
だからバカには任せられないってお前が言ったんだろ。お前は俺よりもバカなんだから。
Ooh. Stista. Eh? Huh? Eh?
俺は
It's a whole lot of huh? I think now we're in present time again?
兵の拘束か。まさかピクス司令がそんな強硬策に出るとはな。
調査兵団は彼らと距離が近いから事前に知らされなかったらしい。
そうせざるを得ないだろうな。ジークの思惑が確定していない以上、俺たちは危険な状態にあるんだ。
I really want to know what Zeke's intentions are.
計画に乗ったエレン、ジークと接触して何を話したのか。
Oh, so they had their conversation at this point? I want to know it. What did Zeke and Aaron talk
お前
about?
らにはあれがエレンに見えたか。
Aaron's gone.
俺は違うと思う。あいつは
Aaron is no more. I don't even recognize Aaron anymore.
サシャが死んだ時エレンはどうしたと思う？
He laughed.
涙を流したと思うか？悔しがったと思うか？
ゴニー、よせ。
笑いやがった。一体何がそんなにおかしかったんだろうな。サシャが死んだことのどこが。説明してくれよミカさん。なんで
I don't know. I'd call it like those nervous giggles, you know? I don't know how else to phrase it. Like whenever something super tragic or dark is happening and you just kind of laugh it off. I don't know.
薬を入手した兵団には選択肢がある。
Very true.
まさか信頼できる他の誰かを巨人にしてエレンの始祖を継承する選択だ。
Yeah, but Aaron ain't gonna let that happen. Oh, just ending like that? Well, that was another flashback episode. Like I said at the start, I really enjoy these episodes because it kind of gives us more information about what has happened, especially given the time jump that started at the beginning of this season. We learn that Aaron is kind of off the hinges. I believe that there is what Hanji was kind of breaking down about him saying fight twice. He is fighting 2 wars now. I mean, not 2 wars, but 2 fights, I suppose. At this very moment, one of them being the scouts, I suppose, and the other being everybody else. That could be my wrong assumption, but I just don't think that he has any allies anymore. I think the only person that is considered his ally at this point is Zeke, to be able to fulfill the plan that I suppose those two have discussed at this point, which I'm very interested to hear, unless the plan at this point is just to make the rumbling happen, which is going to be insane. But now we know what they use in the ODM gear, and we finally see the ODM gear from the guy that Zeke took it from at the beginning of season 2. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take this back with me. And we finally seen it now, and it was used as kind of like a bargaining chip to get a money-hungry family involved that gave us some backstory on Mikasa, which is very interesting. A descendant of I believe it was a king or an emperor of a specific family line that, as of this moment, there was just so much information to take in. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's very interesting, as well as that tattoo or whatever. I believe it's a tattoo that was put on her wrist from her mother, and now if Mikasa ever has a child, when she would pass that on. Speaking of children, his story is pregnant with some dude that picked on her when she was younger and then helped her when he was older, and now they made a kid. I mean, the drunk soldiers at the table make a good point. Maybe she did it because she didn't want to get eaten. Maybe Aaron forced her to do it so that she wouldn't get eaten. I don't know. I mean, she signed herself away to a kid now, and this kid's going to be half royal blood, same as Zeke. So I wonder if this is going to be a long-term goal of passing on this to a future generation, because Historia's kid will be able to inherit a Titan power and be able to use it to its maximum potential because it will have royal blood. And if it's a girl or a guy, I suppose, I don't think Ymir is, I think Ymir is more of a unisex name. I could be wrong. Maybe Ymir is a female name. But what are the odds that she names that kid Ymir when it comes out? That'd be kind of a, you know, a sweet thing to do in honor of Ymir. The one that, I mean, Ymir wanted to marry Historia. I mean, was an interesting thing that just kind of like was mentioned once when she touched the letter, or when she read the letter and then touched it and then had all of that memories or whatever pop into her head. But yeah, we learned more about the plan. We learned about what is used in the ODM gear to propel them, that gas. I forget the name of the stone. It makes me want to look back on it actually. If I can find it. Find real quick. Alright, this. It needs a special fuel. I turn it down and unpause it so the next line comes up. Ice burst stone. That's the reason that that family was able, or that family showed up. And I also think that that lady that showed up was the one who saved Yudo from getting probably killed or something for spilling that wine on that lady's shirt. I think that was her. I could be wrong, and I could be talking about a different lady. But this lady was also the one who talked to Willie right before disappearing, right before this all happened. And that's because she probably knew it was going to happen, so she disappeared so that nobody on her side faced casualties. A whole lot of stuff coming out and making a lot more sense now. But I'm very curious to see what Eren is going to do, especially after basically threatening Hange, by like pulling her into the prison cell doors, and like he basically said, like, I'm here by my own free will. I have the capabilities to get out of this cage, but I'm not. So if you gotta tell me something, tell me it. Otherwise, I mean, I could just break out of here at any time. And that kind of comes full circle back around to what I said at the start, where Levi said, you can put a monster in a cage, this monster in a cage, but if he doesn't want to stay there, he won't. He will do what he wants to. As of right now, Eren has the ball in his court. He's just waiting for them to tell him what's going on. And if I don't think it aligns with what he wants to do, I think he's gonna turn, get out of that prison cell, break out somehow, and do his own thing. Like at this point, Eren's like his own one-man army. And what happens if he goes? What if this happens? Okay, what if Eren breaks out? Okay, he's talking with Zeke alone. What if he starts the rumbling without anybody else's say on it? Like, what if he goes, grabs Zeke, and then they go and just do it? Like, it's not like Eren feels like he has any friends anymore. I mean, after the events that played out the last couple episodes, nobody is treating him as a friend. If anything, he's become the enemy to some extent, some degree. And it's very interesting that it's kind of come full circle from season 1. Very interesting that they're also maybe planning, or well, maybe that was just Connie's like theorizing that maybe they're going to like inject somebody and take Eren out forcefully. That would be interesting too, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Eren's more than capable of defending himself, and if that does come to fruition, then the scouts are his enemy too, for sure. And then he is going to have nobody on his side except for him and Zeke. Maybe he'll eat Zeke at some point because he doesn't want to give it to Historia. Because, I mean, if they're the enemies now too, then why give them royal blood? Or not royal blood, they already have royal blood, Historia. Why give them the Beast Titan to allow them to use it to its full potential, let alone the Founding, Attack, Warhammer, all that stuff. So it's just quite a very big mess of stuff going on right now. It's very crazy that Historia got pregnant though. I keep kind of like thinking on that, and now she's gonna have a kid. I really wonder what that whole plan is, because there's got to be something more to that. Historia's smarter than that. I mean, that's just my take on the character. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. If you made it to this point, because my Attack on Titan videos are super long, I just want to say thank you. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please consider dropping a like. And if you have not, and you're new to, or you're discovering me because of Attack on Titan, maybe consider dropping a subscription, subscribe, and maybe consider ringing that bell, as they say, to stay up to date on all my future videos. I am trying to get out Attack on Titan videos as soon as they drop. Yeah, thank you all very much if you made it to the end, And until next time with more Attack on Titan, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and peace.